differential. All right, we're just about 5 minutes away from racing here at Webb, Slough. I want to thank again everybody making their way in today for a little fun out here in the sun, a little water action. If you're going to be heading over to the beer garden, enjoy yourself, but remember that it would be a good idea to have somebody selected to be your chauffeur home, as there's going to be a fairly extensive law enforcement presence on the highways out there if you're planning on leaving after the race today. So make sure you've got a designated driver because, you know, that would be a really crappy way to end the day. The big boys of the Palouse, Ken Paulson Plumbing. One call to clear that drain. It's Ken Paulson Plumbing, the official plumbers of Webb Slough. Also, Link Malt works exclusively with grain grown here in eastern Washington, connecting area farmers directly with craft brewers and distillers around the Northwest. By the way, if you're going to be heading back to your campsite, maybe for a little bit of a respite during the races today, you can catch all of the action on the Webb Slough Facebook page. We are streaming the races today on Facebook Live, so you have a chance to watch them there if you want to. Also, you can go to the Facebook page to watch them later. If there's certain things you want to show friends or take a look at, of course, they'll be up on the Webb Slough Facebook page as well. And we have a key fob that was found in the hot pits. If anybody happens to be missing one, we have your keys. Well, sort of. You'll have to identify it. That's our first, by the way, lost announcement today. So we're off to a good start. That's earlier than usual. Yeah, it's the little things like this that keep you entertained. So it looks like we've got our first boat backing into the water. Getting ready to get things going. Of course, we have safety crew members you're going to see out in the field. The guys in the bright Hunter's green t-shirts are safety crew. Their job is to keep everybody out on the water, and when they come out of the water, safe, to make sure they're okay. Everybody out there is a first responder of some sort, either EMTs, fire, police. Somebody just paged me. Yeah. Okay, we have a detective, Steve. The race referee informs us that key fob is for a Mazda and that the owner is likely a Washington State University student because of the mailbox key. So that again down in the hot pit area. So our safety crew again out there, all volunteers, making sure that everybody stays safe today. So our first boat out is going to be boat 154. This is their first year of racing. Jeff Purcell and Roberta Anderson, team 154. This is the beginning of the modified class. So Jeff's first year racing, he's done a lot of other racing in his life. Definitely has kind of picked up on sprint boat racing pretty readily. Nicely done to the top. Now this part of the rotation, so that is a DNF. He was supposed to make a right as opposed to a left when he went to the course. So he picks up the DNF. So first DNF of the day. As we get ready for boat 71B. Again, the modified class. All small blocks, 365 cubic inches or below. Larry Hines and Dale Correa making their way up from Salem, Oregon. Larry teaches interpretive dance at a memory care center. So about 71B. These guys have kind of raced sporadically through the years, on and off. It's been a couple of years since we've seen him in the water. Spins it out, hangs it wide, noticing that his boat has a tendency to drift a little bit at the back end, and that's kind of what happened there as he went to hit that corner. It just kind of drifts out, grabs the bank, and so the safety crew getting their first workout of the day. 2 DNFs in a row. With Blue Bayou, boat 40A, with Dylan Hatch and Clayton Johnson in the back.
Good morning and welcome to the broadcast here from Webb Slough in St. John, Washington, race 2, the final race of the season here at Webb Slough. I'm Paul White, your live broadcast engineer, and I'll be trying to bring you all the action I can today. This is the track map for today. Fairly straight and short. And hopefully we'll have a good day of racing and not have any technical gremlins. Thanks for joining us, and if you can, like, comment, or share, and follow us on Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Webb Slough on both of them.
Started, or are they going to have to be chauffeured out? So an inauspicious start to the day of racing with a wrong turn and a little bit of an island bump. Our next boat out is 40A. Dylan Hatch, the driver. He is 17 years old, which would make him, right now at least, the youngest driver here at Webb Slough. His navigator is Clayton Johnson, a 23-year-old. Both of them are from Pasco, Washington. Dylan, of course, at 17 is a student. And no. Nicely done through the first corner. He navigates the hairpin. Nicely done. A little bit of cavitation. Cavitation is where the jet sucks up air along with water. Turn the boat rev up, but you'll also see it slow down. And he gets it done. Clean run. .18 is the time for boat 40A in the modifieds. 45.18. Another rookie on the way in boat 199. The boat is Guano Loco. You do the translation. Father-daughter team, Larry and Sammy Steele. Larry making his way over from Coeur d'Alene. They've been watching races here at Webb Slough for a number of years. They've only missed one race since they opened, and finally deciding, okay, something we got to try. First time they've had the boat in the water. Well, this could take a while. And he gets a DNF. So he picks up the DNF with boat 509A coming out. The boat, Bad Idea, Eric Petring and Karen Mesa. So I'm completely not sure why 199 is where he's at right now. And there seems to be some definite confusion from others as to what's going on as he tries to get the boat turned around. The boats have what's called a reverse bucket, which drops down in front of the jet on the back of the boat, and so it forces the water towards the front of the boat, meaning that it has reverse, and almost, I don't know if he just didn't realize he has a reverse bucket. So they try to get the rookie out with 5:09, bad idea coming up. Levi, Karen Mesa, the navigator. Eric Petring is a custom painter. Things like RVs, airplanes, a lot of the drivers' helmets he's painted. Does custom stuff. This is his third year racing. His first season, he actually blew up 3 engines. Modified classes, the idea was for it to be a beginner's class, but there are so few rules other than engine size. Hangs it up on the bank. And in the process clogged his jet. So there's a grate underneath the boats. It's the intake, the water intake. And when you run it across an island, it actually acts pretty much like a cheese grater, so sucks up big chunks of sod. And you see what you're seeing right here, which is, and he gets the DNF. So not a very good day so far for the modifieds. A really rough day. 4 DNFs out of 5 boats. The youngest racer on the course, driver, is the only one that put down a time, which is Dylan Hatch. As we get ready for one of the many Jolly Rogers boats, boat 208, with Dustin Springer and TJ Burrows. This is boat 208. Dustin's been driving for about 3 years, and he's hammered down on this. All right, let's see what kind of speed he's able to carry through that hairpin. Nicely done, very smooth. Unofficially a 41.71. And that is official. So we have official timers, and sometimes we have problems with the electric eye, so the times you see on the clock may not be the official time, but it is called as a 41.71. With another couple of rookies coming out. The regulator, Mike Carolla, and his wife, Carrie, in boat 377. She's a vet student. right, so the rookie actually doing okay. He's been in the Coast Guard for the last 20 years. And a clean run. Yeah, the spin-out pool, particularly a first-time driver with a little momentum going in there, can be a little bit disorienting. At a time of 56.82. Our next boat is 86. Husband and wife team of Samantha and Jason Christ, the Juggernaut. This is their first race, both from Burley, Idaho. Jason's been a navigator for a couple of years. Jimmy Hess. And he gets the clean run. About 52 and change. 52.60. Next out, really the boat to beat in the class from Canada, Scott and Alex Jensen. Scott the driver, Alex the navigator from Maple Ridge, British Columbia. Number of years since anyone has beaten Scott Jensen. Although they may, oh! Nicely done there, Scott. Make me look real stupid saying how great you are. We need to start putting targets on the hay bales. He had some pretty good speed there. So looks like we're going to have a bit of a delay here. I'll be honest with you, I had not seen him do that very often, and I'm beginning to wonder if that was not some sort of mechanical failure that caused that. And know that he has a replacement engine in the boat. But that was just kind of the way he came out and where he came out. Not the kind of mistake where you just kind of hit the bank in the direction that he did. I almost kind of looked to me like he may have lost his steering. So that was, I think there's more to that than just driver error. One of the boats that is racing out here today is the Regulator. They were just out, the rookie couple coming in for their very first time. We just saw them, the boat before Scott Jensen. They were at the Show and Shine last night. If you don't get here early, you should, to Webb Slough. Get here on the Friday night when they do the Show and Shine in downtown St. John. Always a lot of fun, a chance for you to actually kind of sit down, meet, talk to the drivers and the like. Had a chance to actually interview Mike and Carrie, the brand new racers here in sprint boat racing last night at the Show and Shine. It's always nice to see a couple of new racers at the track. So the regulator, where'd you come from?
Well, I went to my first sprint boat race ever a couple weeks ago, and I was just hooked. You know, the intensity of the racing was just awesome, and decided to walk through the pits and start seeing who had a boat for sale. Next thing I know, Dustin, Chase, and myself were talking, and I bought the Flying Hawaiian from him a couple weeks ago.
All right, so Mike, Carrie, and you're going to be the navigator, right?
Yes, I am. First time ever. I've never even been to a race.
You've never been to a race?
Nope. Jump in both feet, right?
How'd you talk her into this?
You know, the great part, I'm a pretty lucky guy. My wife's super competitive, super athletic. She's into rodeo. I grew up drag racing, and we've always been on the sidelines of each other's sports. And so as soon as I saw that this could be a team event, she said buy it before I even wrote the check. She was ready to do it.
Yeah.
So
I told him, I said, as long as I'm navigator, do it. I was like, I want to be involved, so yeah.
You didn't even know what a navigator does!
But I was like, let's do it. If it's a team event, I'm in.
Okay, so cool, noting that you're in rodeo, so talk a little bit about that.
I've been doing it since I was about 13, and I love it. I've been training barrel horses since I can remember, and grew up in North Idaho, training some reining horses, went to rodeo, and I'm addicted. I'm an adrenaline junkie and addicted to competition, so I feel like this is an easy sport for me to jump into as well.
Now, I know a few years ago they reopened bronco riding for women. Are you doing that?
No, I'm strictly barrel racing.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's really cool. So what are some other things you've done? I mean, have you done other racing?
yeah, so I motocrossed when I was a kid in high school, and AMA motocross on the East Coast. And then I got into drag racing for about 10 years. Had a Mustang, did the 10-inch tire, drag radial stuff. And just got tired of tearing up cars. It was really, really expensive to stay into. Then I got into diesel drag racing for a little while, and just can't keep up with the wear and tear. And then after watching what these boats went through at a race, and just flip over, spin out, hit the fence, and just throw them back in the water, add some fuel, and off they go. I was like, hey, this looks like this might be a little easier on the checkbook. So maybe I'm completely wrong, but you know, it looks a little bit easier on the wallet than the drag racing world. So
he says now.
so he says now. Yeah.
I think I suck and dry with the rodeoing, so now he's got to find an easier sport on his checkbook.
In the good part, there's only a limited amount of events, you know, so I don't have to make money to have fun with it. This is just something for us to get away from our normal lives. She's a full-time student. I'm active duty Coast Guard. I've been in for 22 years now, and we like to get away from it all. And what I really miss is the racing family. That was what I loved about racing. That's what we love about rodeo. People that'll just do anything for you. As soon as we got here, almost every team came over, hung out with us, invited us to their pits, and you just don't find that in any other avenue. And it's alive with sprint boat racing, and love it.
So Carrie, what are you doing in school?
I'm a veterinary student down in Oregon. Yep.
Oregon State University?
Yep. Beavers.
I happen to know where that's at. I live in Corvallis.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Small world. Yeah.
All right, so our first timers, our next boat out is Hammer Time. Rick Phillips, Jen McClellan. Brand new engine in this boat. A little more horsepower than he's had before. If you were here last year at the last race, you watched him launch the boat off of his trailer on top of a Jeep. And he's doing really well. This right here, the technical part, see how he does A lot of cavitation there as he just kind of digs in around that corner. This boat definitely has a lot more speed than it did. The old Piranha boat, Piranha style hull. Nicely done. So 47.56 unofficially. And that is official. With boat 71A, Jay Correa and Chelsea Gottfried. Another one of those tag team boats, the Nut Deep boat. Actually, they're on a 5-minute clock as they try to get whatever problem they're having taken care of. Part of the Fat Buddies. From the Canadians, boat 5-4, Bill Reichert, who raced for a number of years and then took some time off, back at it again. Bill Reichert and Mike Woods. Bill's from Tulameen, British Columbia. Mike from Okanagan Falls. Bill spent a lot of years racing snowmobiles before he got into sprint boat racing as part of the Fat Buddies. Fat Buddies all have the orange and black motif. Bill Reichert's daughter, Tadra, navigates for Scott Saxton, one of the Fat Buddies. Scotty Dog. Everybody kind of digging in on that particular corner. We haven't really seen anybody just nail it. And it's a clean run. About a 45.15 it looks like, unofficially, which would be the fastest time on the course today. And he does it. He has the fastest run on the course by 0.03 of a second. Blue Bayou with Dylan Hatch and Clayton Johnston had a 45.18. With another Fat Buddy coming up a little bit later. So boat 71A now, Jay Correa, Chelsea Gottfried, making their way up from Salem, Oregon. In the green bow tie, Nut Deep boat. Jay, for a number of years, navigated for Larry Hines, owner of the boat. Swung it wide, and he does the pirouette almost into a hay bale. It's amazing how far he came out of the water. He wasn't really carrying a whole lot of momentum going into that corner. And our safety crew getting the workout. So he picks up the DNF, did not finish. Started to mention a little bit earlier on the hairpin corner, the 11 into 5 corner, about cavitation, and a little more specifically, cavitation is just more air getting sucked through that jet on the back of the boat, and the jet is really where all the magic is in these boats. That's where your steering is at. That's where your power is at. That's where everything is at in these boats. And so when you have a situation where for whatever reason you're getting that sucking of air into the jet, the engine will rev real high and the boat will slow down. You'll almost see the back end sink as more air than water getting pushed through. Coming up next boat, 40B Blue Bayou with Clayton Johnson and Dylan Hatch. Clayton is a technician at Pelican Fueling in Pasco, Washington. Dylan is son. We saw Dylan out here. Well, not his son, but Dylan was out here racing earlier. And so they make their way out. Yeah, the 40 boat, nice little setup that he's got in that. It's got a 355 small block Chevy, 8.5-inch Scott jet. Scott, one of the main makers of jets that you'll see on the back of these boats. Variety of different sizes, 7.5, 8.5, 9-inch jets. So he brings it off the trailer as the safety crew gets themselves set. So we'll have the 400 class coming up in just a couple of boats. The A400s still in the modified class. Working our way through the first of ostensibly 4 qualifiers. So we'll go through the modifieds, the A400s, the super boats, and start all over again for if he can fire back up. He's still got a clean run going. That's an if. As he just aimlessly drifts. Letting the trade winds carry him back to the spin-out pool. All right, got it restarted. So he's still got a run going here. And he's going to take it. And a DNF. The modified driver's definitely having a difficult day so far. With Clint Birch and Megan Forbes and the Fear Not boat. If you have a chance to go down and take a look at that in the pits today, Fear Not's an interesting boat to take a look at because of all the carbon fiber parts that are in this boat. Clint is a fabricator, and we'll hear an interview from him a little bit later on, but one of the things that all of these racers try to do is get these boats as light as possible, and with the carbon fiber, he was definitely able to shave a lot of weight off the boat, hand making his own carbon fiber parts. Well done. Nicely done through the tricky hairpin. fastest on the course if it's a 43.88. Well, second fastest. So 43.88 holds. Actually, third fastest boat in the class with a 43.88. Got so next boat on the way is going to be Monkey Business, Mark Toombs and Amy Hensley. He's Mark, the driver from Ford, Washington, as is his navigator. One of their boat sponsors is Rothman Performance out of Spokane, Washington. They do a lot of custom race engines. A lot of boats hanging up on that corner. They're coming through there swinging wide and then hooking towards the inside. This is Mark's first year racing. First race was the first race here in St. John. And it's good. Out of 56.04 with our last boat in the class to make it out. 509B here in the modifieds, with Earl Lathrop being in the driver's seat, Levi Lathrop being in the navigator chair. Safety gear, a big deal in sprint boat racing. As we've seen out here, these boats can come out of the water, and sometimes that reaction to boat versus island can be pretty violent. They're all dealing with NASCAR-style harnesses. Many of the drivers' Hans devices attached to their helmets. If you notice, those top of the seats come out and the helmets kind of slide into these wings, if you will, on the seats to keep their heads from jostling around, all wearing fire suits. Navigator's right hand is actually strapped to the side of the boat, so during a wreck, their hand can't come out. With the A400s getting ready to go here, as soon as we finish this final run of the modifieds. And call it good. .12. And that is official. So, after one qualifier for the modifieds, we've got two boats within just literally hundredths of a second of each other, 300ths of a second. Boat 54 and 40A, 45.15 and 45.18 respectively. Fastest boat in the class so far today is the Jolly Rogers 208 with Dustin Springer and TJ Burrows as the teammates there. Clint Birch laying down a pretty good time in fourth at a 43.1 or 43.88. First boat out in the A400 class, the adventure that is Scott Saxton, the Fat Buddies, Tadra Reichert, the navigator there, Bill Reichert, her dad, racing in the modifieds a little bit earlier. Tadra's been navigating for Scott for a few years. She is what's known as a wine engineer. I guess if you got to get a job in engineering, wine would be the place to do it. Hangs it up and comes out of the water. This is not an unknown experience for Scott. He has a tendency to do this. So they'll get out there and try to get him back in. From Surrey, British Columbia, he started the Fat Buddies about 13 years ago. First Canadian racers, Corey Johnson and Gary McNeil, their first race here, I think, about 13 years ago was at St. John. And they kind of incorporated some of their friends into it with Scott Saxton starting the Fat Buddy team. So you see a lot of the orange and black boats, all of them coming down from Canada. And if you're wondering why the name Fat Buddies, well, go over and take a look at all of them. Tadra excluded. Tadra excluded. And Sharon. The next Fat Buddy out is going to be Jesse Miller and his wife, Kaylin. They're from Langley, British Columbia. He's been sprint boat racing for about 6 years. Started when he was about 16, as I recall. He had a navigator who was 15 years old, different navigator. Getting married can always change navigators. His dad, Phil, also will be racing in the 400 class. Jesse's boat, by the way, that you're going to be seeing out here next, Jesse's boat is up for sale, lock, stock, and barrel. Everything, including the trailer. And Phil Miller, who has won the 400 class, I mean, has been unbeaten in probably 3 years. Phil, Jesse's dad, made the comment. He goes, yeah, if somebody wants to come purchase this boat, he goes, we'll crew it for you for a year, teach you everything we know, help you out with it. So it is up for sale. So if you want to, maybe you're thinking to yourself, like some of the other racers here, hey, yeah, I'd like to try this. Go check it out. Go take a look. So boat number 9. So if you lost some keys with an AutoZone tag on them, they're at the ticket booth. They were just taken there. Somebody lost their keys. Again, has an AutoZone tag on it. They are at the ticket booth. Thank you. See, I hesitate to say this because usually this is a jinx. Jesse has never wrecked this boat. pretty fast. He took a second to his dad in the last race. And they're having a hard time getting started. So I'm thinking right there, you're going to save some money. Use that as a bargaining chip right there. Well, yeah, I saw the thing start, and I don't know. That looks like at least a $5,000, $6,000 discount to me. Those ignition switches, oh my God, they're astronomical. So likely he's going to go on the 5-minute clock as they try to get whatever problem is they're dealing with down there. All right. So boat number 5 coming out. Kelly Stevenson and Dennis Robertson. Kiwi Kelly. Kelly, originally from New Zealand, a number of years ago moved to Sherwood, Oregon, which is outside of Portland. Works as a contractor. He had navigated for the boat's original owner, Mel Craven. And it's his very first year racing. And even that said, he took a second in Port Angeles about a month ago. So Kelly definitely picking it up after navigating. Nice, smooth driver. Through the corner here. Misses it. He went to go into it wide and just hung it way too wide. So 8 DNFs so far this morning between the two classes. 2 DNFs right off the bat, 2 wrecks in the 400s with one boat still on the 5-minute clock. That is boat number 9. And Jesse Miller and his race team are probably going to get a little extra time as they try to get Kelly back into the water to solve whatever their engine problem is down there in the pits. Or actually in the start channel. Number of people right now with their heads in the back of Jesse's boat trying to get the problem worked out. As we get Kelly Stevenson back in the water, and they try to get him restarted and make his way off the course. Racing brought to you today by O'Reilly's Auto Parts, and judging by as many folks as we've seen out of the water, probably O'Reilly's going to be getting a lot of business today. O'Reilly Auto Parts, they take good care of your car, your truck, your sprint boat, if you've got one. Their customers realize good maintenance habits pay off in the longer vehicle life, better fuel economy, and more pride of ownership. You're going to see O'Reilly's Auto Parts all over the country. L&M Truck Sales, also a sponsor of Webb Slough. They've been in the trucking business since 1968 with select used trucks. They've grown over the years. They supply trucks to transportation companies, farm trucks. They sell a lot of grain trucks to rural and ag communities like St. John. They specialize in custom design, construction quality equipment, everything from truck mount cranes to farm trucks, water trucks, dump trucks, bucket trucks, you name it. And they also have a pretty extensive rental truck fleet serving contractors, farmers, and utility companies. Also sponsoring Webb Slough, T-Wheel Custom No-Till, providing the best ag seed services for your farm while taking the highest stands. Innovative ideas for crop success and growth. Where you need quality seed, you need T-Wheel Custom No-Till. So number 9 now is officially it did not start. They got it started, got it off the trailer, and just he can't keep it going. So that'll bring us to rookie David Brown with navigator Matt Lynch, and why not? It's Dave's very first race. Dave's a contractor down in Medford, Oregon, down there, not all that far from the California border, so making a long trip up. One of their main sponsors is Worth, along with Riverport Brewery. The boat itself is from Australia. It's owned by Sandy Whalen. So he's racing one of the Australian boats. Dave also teaches the classes so you can get a motorcycle certification in Oregon. Longtime motorcycle rider. All over the place. Interesting to see how he handles it across this top island. Not too bad. And he gets the DNF. Took a left instead of a right. By the way, happy 40th birthday going out to Ben Thompson today. Ben Thompson enjoying the big 4-0. Just think, Ben, you're only 10 years away from your very first required colonoscopy. And a ARP. I like it. We've got spectators down here shouting other things he's going to be eligible for. Senior discounts at Hometown Buffet, Ben. It's coming. Well, 156B Bad Influence with Stephen and Randy Church, the husband-wife team. Ron DeMoe owns this boat. Ron from Minden, Nevada. Stephen Oregon, down in the Eugene area. Last race was Stephen's first time racing, and he was laying down some solid times. Oh! Okay, he gets a DNF, but he gets high style points on that. It was like a fidget spinner on the top of the island. I need to stop complimenting these guys. Every time I do, they do that. Damned announcers dooming these guys to failure. Stephen had navigated for a long time for Ron DeMoe, and Ron kind of convinced him to get into the driver's seat, and his last out-of-water experience notwithstanding, his last race, he was laying down some killer times, really putting his foot in it, looking really good until they had a mechanical problem with the boat and had to call it a day. But at one point, they had laid down the fastest time Stephen had in the 400 class. So hopefully no damage done to the boat. We get to see it out here again, and we'll wait for Patrick Cole and Jacob Dwyer, boat 151A, part of Psycho Team Racing. This is Cole's first year racing. His dad, Kyle, has raced for a number of years, not only in the 400 class, but also in the Unlimited, the superboat class. His father, Kyle, doing a lot of racing down under Australia and New Zealand. National points champion on a number of occasions, Kyle Patrick. And his son, Cole, kind of picking it up. And his son does pretty good first couple of races. So we'll see Cole out here in just a couple of minutes. Link Malt is going to be malting the Baroness barley that we were talking about a little bit earlier, that you can see being grown on the hill behind Webb Slough. And it is used for the Webb Slough brew. If you haven't tried the Webb Slough brew, the special beer brewed just for Webb Slough, Paradise Creek Brewery is here. You'll be able to pick up some of that with the Webb Slough label on it. Webb Slough would also like to thank Dale Nunn and Jeff Halstead for capturing sprint boat racing and allowing Webb Slough to use their photography to bring new race fans to St. John, Washington, and to the sport. Also, Purpose Roaster is excited to introduce fresh roasted Slough Brew coffee by Purpose Roasters. It's roasted in Colfax, just up the highway. They've developed a medium roast and a dark roast, especially for Webb Slough fans. So if you want fresh coffee for a post-race day pick up a bag at the Slough Gear merchandise booth. Grab a lime green bag of St. John Sunrise or Eager Beaver, and be sure to check out Purpose Roasters on your way through Colfax. And we have a Samsung, it looks like a smartwatch that somebody brought up here. Golden color with one of the ugliest wristbands ever. No, I'm serious, this is an ugly wristband. Yeah, you've got the expensive smartwatch and a cheap rubber wristband on the thing. Let's spend $500 for the watch and 50 cents for the band. So waiting for boat 151A as we slowly tow the bad influence boat out. By the way, if you have a chance, head on down to Vendor Row. You're going to find a lot of different gear down there. Hammer Time's got their t-shirts, including their It Happens t-shirt, which seem to be selling pretty well. Also, Overkill, Fear Not. A lot of the racers have their gear down there that you can pick up. T-shirts, hoodies, onesies, beer koozies, because everybody needs a sweater for their beer. Be able to find it along with, of course, Webb Slough gear for this year, too. It's a way to help to support the racers and their teams. Helps pay to get them from race to race and keep these boats running. And pretty good prices down on Vendor Row. By the way, make sure to keep yourself hydrated, but if you need first aid, there is a first aid booth that's down there by the main gate. And we get back to racing after a DNF, a DNS, and 3 more DNFs. Let's see if boat 151 with Cole Patrick, can actually get us our first clean run in the class. Nicely done. Looking good. And it's good. 46.36 unofficially. So finally we break the drought in the 400s and get a clean run, and it took 6 boats to do it. With boat 47, part of the Bandit team, the brothers, the Swindoll family. This is Bandit Gold Rush, Darren Swindoll, the driver, his daughter Ashley in the navigator's seat. And he gets the DNF. Man, I don't know what rotation he was doing there after he missed that corner. I think that rotation was 2 races ago. Boat 02 on the way, live wire, Vaughn Trapp and Matt Denson. Vaughn spent a lot of years as a crew member for this boat and finally purchasing it this year. That's good. .50 for Vaughn. Not the fastest time, but Heck, at least he got a clean run in. That's more than most of the folks have been on the water so far in the 400s can say. With Daryl Healy and Lena Lilly in bank shot in boat 12. Okay, actually boat 12 is on the 5-minute. So boat 22, the Punisher boat, the boat to beat in the 400 class, Phil Miller and Sharon Hauser. And the fastest run on the course today with a 40.67. So 40.67. And that is our fastest run today so far. Boat 42, Blue Bayou. Actually, Blue Bayou 2 with Dan Hatch, Wendy Wright. Phil, his hope is next year to move up into the unlimited class, and what he's doing to fund that is selling his son's boat, Jesse, who would inherit a different boat to race. So if you're interested in buying a sprint boat, 400 class boat, turnkey, ready to roll. Boat 42. All right, if you're keeping track, boat 12 receives a DNS. Did not start in this run in the 400 class. So a couple of did not starts here. But Dan Hatch and Wendy Wright, Blue Bayou 2. Again from Pasco, Washington. Both the driver and the navigator. 400 class bow tie engine. Most of the 400 class boats dynoing out around 650 to 700 horsepower. A lot of drift in the back end of this particular setup. Gets a clean run though. Yeah, wrecking in the spin out pool is not a DNF. 48.69. Part of the Jolly Roger Blue Team, 625, Ken Wurst and Mike Reardon. Getting ready to roll it out. Ken from Coeur d'Alene. Ken is the owner of R.C. Wurst and Company. Mike works for the Idaho Department of Transportation. Comes from Post Falls, Idaho. Hull is actually a custom-built hull. Eric Werner, who started the Jolly Roger Racing for a while, was experimenting building his own hulls. And this particular design I refer to as the flying slipper design because it's so short and small, it looks like a little genie slipper. DNF. Oh, 31B, Mike Llewellyn, Sandy Whalen. Mike from Australia. He and Sandy, Mike Llewellyn, driver, Sandy Whalen, the boat owner, both caregivers. Been racing for a number of years, particularly down in Australia, New Zealand. Worth, their big sponsor. So this is boat 156A in the A400 class. Mike definitely having a little easier time with the boat than we saw Dave when he was racing it a little earlier, Dave Brown. And they do it. So problems with the electronic eye. We'll wait for an official time. Look to be in probably about the 49:50 range, probably, just judging. .53 time for Mike Llewellyn and Sandy Whalen, and why not? Next up, the only boat from St. John, Wave Digger 2, Skylar Smith, the driver. Marshall Boffus is navigator. Both farmers here in the local area, both from St. John. They're sponsored by St. John Hardware, Wire Air, Edna Rowe Racing Engines. Our last boat, the time, by the way, was a 47.53. So Skylar right now in a holding pattern. As our official electrician techs make their way out to the electronic eyes. So the green flag is out. Skylar makes his way to the start channel. Nicely done through the first corner for Skylar. Very smooth. And it's a clean run. Okay, we have a silver vehicle, license plate 813B. You need to move it. Otherwise, we'll move it for you. I know, you're thinking to yourself, man, I'd like to take advantage of that convenience, but maybe I'll go handle it myself. Your silver vehicle with an 813B is in Bravo license plate. Take care of that. All right. 151B, Kyle Patrick and Amanda Thompson. And a clean run. It's about 21. Bank shot, Jimmy Hess, Jason Christ. 48.41. Next boat out should be boat 76, Bandit Black with Brian and Aubrey Swindoll. So it looks like boat 151 was on the 5-minute clock. It backs into the pool as we wait for Bandit Black, the BSB boat, sponsored by Heritage Distillery. Another part of the Bandit team there, Brian Swindoll and Aubrey Swindoll, father-daughter team. So if you have a border collie whose name is Pepper, at least that's what his tag says, he's found the ticket booth. So if you have a border collie named Pepper, Pepper's over at the ticket booth. So go pick up Pepper. Pepper will be happy to see you. All right. 76, Bandit Black. Brian is a commercial boat builder. Actually, he and his brother Darren both boat builders. run. About a 43.32 unofficially. And that is official, 43.32 with 151B. All right, so, we get really interesting crosstalk on the radios here, and I was just told to remind you, if you go into a porta potty and you find keys, take them to the ticket booth. Not that probably you're going to be real excited about touching them if they've been sitting there for a while, but somebody will be appreciative. Kyle Patrick in the 400 class 151B, and he gets the quick DNF. Oops. I'm sure that probably his son will let him know, hey, Dad, did you know you missed that corner back there? Hey, Dad, did you miss that corner? I think you missed that corner, Dad. What do you think? Three Alpha on the way. Now we're into the unlimited class. Scott Saxton is dueling up today in the 400 class and also in the unlimited class. He will be the first boat out in the unlimiteds, followed by 15M, Jeremy Brewer and Presley Lawler. The Rum Runner boat is... If you go take a look at it, it has one of the craziest power plants you've ever seen. It's capable of 1,700 horsepower, although dialed down today. So Scott Saxton in the unlimited class, see how he handles this boat. Tadra, his navigator, said yesterday that this particular boat does not handle as well as the 400 class boat. And both of them are a little nervous to even get this thing. But Scott is kind of all over the place, still holds on, and puts down a clean time. .22 unofficially. Call that official, 46.22. So on the trailer right now is boat number 4. Bill Sparling, Dalton Halden. Bill's from Corvallis, Montana. Do we have people here from Corvallis, Montana? Several people from Corvallis, Montana. Well, let's throw a shout out to Corvallis, Montana. We salute you, Corvallis. There you go. A lot of this boat, including the engine, handmade by Bill Sparling, who spent a number of years not only racing but building race engines, race cars, and the like. it's good. .46.25. And that is an official time. And the rum runner trying to get fired up. Jeremy Brewer had been out of racing for a number of years after having some back surgery. Finally feeling good enough to be able to get in the boat as he gets a power plant fired up and running. It is a methanol burner, 15M. Love listening to that boat when he gets it fired up. Listening to the twin turbos on it as they start spooling. So he's done a couple of races in it. He's had a difficult time. It's a very complicated boat, just trying to get everything tuned properly. Definitely not putting his foot in it. And he gets the DNF. Still sounding rough. About 69 on the way. Dennis Hughes, overkill. They won the last race here in the class. Looking to do it again. Dennis Hughes, one of those backyard man cave mechanical wizards. Building his own hull and even his own pump. His daughter, Samantha, is navigator. She's 18 years old. She's been navigating for him for about the last 3 years. They're out of Spokane Valley. Davis Office Furniture out of Spokane, one of his main sponsors, along with DCT Controls and De Leon Taco and Bar. That's the kind of sponsor you want, a taco bar. Fastest run on the course today with a 38.49. Dean Lautenschlager and Jack Bringman in boat 411. Also a new boat this year, this season. Dean Lautenschlager, another one of those racers that'll race for a few years and then disappear, be back in a new boat, race for a while, and comes back in a new unlimited class boat. Last time we saw it here, the first race of the season, just before Father's Day. Another one of these brand new super boats. I mean, there's so much stuff that they can do to these with the electronics, with the superchargers, with the blowers, all the different things you can do to these particular boats that are allowed under the rules. I mean, you're given so much leeway that sometimes you look in the back of them and go, God, that thing is overbuilt. And it can take a while to just get everything running smoothly. And the other problem is it's not like that you have a lot of time where you can really test the boats and get them into the water. You get maybe 4 runs of about 40 seconds, and then you have to try and figure out where to go from there. Quite a bit of difference hooking a hose up to it and running the boat as opposed to actually having it in the water and doing a real test. So about 4-1-1 in the unlimited class. One of the problems that in the first race that Dean was having was just kind of the setup on the boat. You can tell that he was having a hard time steering, and it still looks like it kind of drifts and bounces around a little bit, but nothing like it was the first race. Still quite a bit of bounce in that corner. As he makes his way out. And it's a clean run and a 45.21 unofficial. And it is official. Our next boat out is boat 35. That is Chris and Katie Monroe, husband-wife team, originally from Queenstown, New Zealand, now living in the Boise area. He was a world champion in 2001, 2, and 3. And they own a meat pie restaurant in Boise, what they call Kiwi Shake and Bake. Kiwi-style meat pies. And apparently they're absolutely killing it. People love that particular restaurant. So coming to the U.S., starting their own business here, and deciding they're going to do a little bit of racing. It's a Pro Charge 427 Rodeck with a 9-inch Southern Jet. Sprint Tech hull, about 13 feet long. Hard to believe that these boats will pull up to almost 9 Gs in the corners, particularly that hairpin down there, for just a matter of seconds or even less than a second. Pulling those kind of Gs and still even staying in the water is pretty amazing. Crazy acceleration, and they're doing it all in channels that are about 13, 14 feet wide in water that's about 2.5 feet deep. So waiting for the Monroes to bring it out. They will be followed ostensibly by Eric Werner and Nicole Brown in boat 907, a part of Jolly Rogers Team Racing. You could call him Jolly Rogers Prime or Eric the First. First time racing here at Webb Slough. Clean run, 43.56. And our final load out in the class, 907, Jolly Rogers, Eric Werner, and Nicole Brown. Eric's been running for a number of years, racing in the modifieds. Never, I don't think, in the 400s, but moving up into the unlimited class a few years ago. Trying a variety of different hull designs, including that little flying slipper design. Now going back to a more full-sized hull. It's got a 463 twin turbo. And to me, what's amazing is how quiet this boat is. And it's a clean run. .14. As we now get into the second qualifier. So the fastest boat in the class on the Unlimiteds, of course, was boat 69 Overkill with Dennis Hughes and his daughter Samantha with 38.49. Second fastest in the class would be boat 35 with Chris and Katie Monroe with a 43.56. So Bad Influence was in the 400s, 156, and their boat, or their Jeep had left. The Jeep's going to get a chance to get a run in here in the 400s with Ron DeMoe in the driver's seat. They were ready to go, but their Jeep disappeared. Lisa Bowman, the navigator. Clean run. 42.25. Now that is a 400 class boat. That is the official time, 42.25. That's boat 156A in the A400. So that was supposed to be third to the last boat out in the 400s. So they wanted to make sure they got a run in because for whatever reason their Jeep took off. So a 42.25, that would be a first qualifying run for Ron DeMoe and Lisa Bowman. Now getting ready to get back to the modifieds. Boat 71B in the modified second qualifying run. They had a DNF in the first with a wreck out of water experience. And a second out of water experience. I think in the same spot. Turn right, turn right. So 154 will be the next boat out as they push Larry Hines and Dale Correa back into the water. So it has been kind of Kind of a rough day for all of the different classes out there. Seven DNFs out of about 14 boats in the modifieds. The 400 class, a number of problems as well between did not finishes and did not starts. But in particular, the modifieds and the 400s really having a rough go of it. By the way, you notice the helicopter over there. You can take helicopter rides today if you want to make the walk over there. I believe they're about 10 to 15 minutes apiece. Get a chance to see the slough from a different view. Want to thank Paul, who's providing the Facebook live stream. You can check that out on the Facebook page of Webb Slough. Racing brought to you by Odom. Stay refreshed with a frost-brewed Coors Light, the most refreshing beer in the world. And remember to drink responsibly, particularly if, if you're going to be leaving after the race, make sure you've got a designated driver or maybe just kind of hang out late tonight. St. John Telephone Company is providing the high-speed internet for Sprint Boat Racing's live stream on Facebook and YouTube. Broadcast of today's race. I want to thank St. John Telephone Company for stepping up to set up the infrastructure to do that. Boat 154 be coming out next. This boat used to belong to Kyle Patrick. Raced in the 400 class for a number of years. Definitely got a lot of mileage on it. With Jeff Purcell and Roberta Anderson and the DNF in their first go. Kept it in the water, took the wrong turn. Clipped some bank. Lots of cavitation. Hang on to it. Stalled out if he can get it started and keep it going. He's still got a clean run going. And safety crews all kind of waiting. So a lot of times just to get a qualifying run, they'll wave off the safety crew. They figure they can get it started themselves. The second that safety crew member touches the boat, though, it will be a DNF. Nobody's touching it yet. They're trying to get it started, and he does. And he's going so slow, it makes you wonder if he's going to be able to make that turn. And he does. Slowly. Yeah, he's going fast enough that he could throw out some crab pots right there. Hey, let's go bottom fishing. What do you think? Get some of those rock cod. Yeah, them Webb Slough rock cod, them's good eating. Okay, so he gets the DNF. See, the navigator needs to be doing their parade wave right there. Brad Herbert's sister. Your keys are at the ticket booth. And it's nice to know that she doesn't have a name herself. She's just identified as somebody's sister. Dylan Hatch and Clayton Johnson, boat 40A, Blue Bayou. 17-year-old in the driver's seat. Love the way that he comes out nice and aggressive. And a 45.18 in his last run. Good run. A little slower than last time, a 46.67 this go around. .199 on the way. DNF on the first go around for new driver Larry Steele and daughter Sammy, the navigator in Guano Loco. First go around was DNF. And looks like he's getting ready to pick up boat 154's crab pots. You know, as slow as a couple of these boats are going, it amazes me they're actually able to make it around some of these corners. See, right here, all the steering is in the pump. If you have no water going through the pump, you have no steering. Now the cool thing is here, first race ever, and he is going to get his fingers crossed, his first clean run in about 20 or 30 seconds. And it's a clean run. 97.34. He did it. He got it. He earned it. So congratulations to Larry and Sammy on their very first clean run. Eric Featuring and Karen Mason, Bad Idea 509A. They had a DNF in their first go around, a wrong turn. They're going to try it again here in the Q2. Although it looks like the next boat in is 208, which is Dustin Springer and TJ Burrows. They had a 41.71 in their first go. Quite a bit rougher run this go around for cavitation all the way around. He gets the clean run with a 44.71. So almost actually is exactly 3 seconds slower than his first run. His first run was a 41.71. So much rougher going that time for Jolly Roger's 2:08. And the bad idea boat coming up. Navigator is clapping his hands. Navigator Karen Mesa, she's stoked. And Eric does a little cheese grating on the island. He gets it, 65.71. About 377 on the way in the modifieds. Mike and Carrie Carolla, their very first run, they had a 56.82. And the rookies, their very first race, the husband and wife. He's in the Coast Guard. She's a vet student. Getting kind of squirrely, hangs on to it. Oh, DNF. And they caught it right away. Too bad, that was actually turning out to be kind of a fun run. Boat 86, Jason Christ, Samantha Christ, the Juggernaut. They had a 52.6. From Burley, Idaho. Southern Fabrication Works, one of their main sponsors. Jason's a mechanic. His wife works in marketing. Just a little too wide, and he sucks up some bank. And this accident brought to you by O'Reilly's Auto Parts. With locations in 47 states, and if you're like me, you're asking yourself, what's wrong with those other 3 states? What kind of loser states are those? O'Reilly's just about everywhere, with the exception of those 47 outcast states. But if you're looking for professional parts people, professional technicians, you'll find it at O'Reilly Auto Parts. They've also got a booth down there on Vendor Row where you can go down and say hi to them for trusted, guaranteed low prices. Wilbur Ellis, also a proud supporter of Webb Slough in the St. John community. They're your home for premier agricultural products and services with local experts and innovative solutions. They've been family owned with over 98 years of experience in the industry. It's Wilbur Ellis, ideas you can grow with. Money is time, time is money, etc. And when you need to save money and time, you need reliability when it comes to rentals. That's where Star Rental comes in. With extensively trained employees, fast responsive service, and no hassle billing. They've got over 100 years of outstanding service. Star Rentals, the oldest, largest, and most reliable independent rental company in the Pacific Northwest. And if you're looking for a little family fun, head to Zeppo's Bowling and Mr. Z's Casino. Located in Pullman, Washington, a great place to have fun times with the family and friends. They've got cosmic bowling. It's family fun and a 100% smoke-free environment. That is Zeppo's. A big thank you again to our island hoppers today. 9 EMTs, 8 firefighters, 3 police officers, 2 first responders, all of them volunteers here today. And we want to thank them for coming out and keeping our drivers and navigators safe. You guys do an awesome job. Scott Jensen. He DNF'd right there in the last run. He gets the trifecta, 3 islands. Everybody wave at Scott. Hi, Scott. They're okay. I noticed people sitting close to the fence where he was coming up all of a sudden started shifting in their chairs. It's like, do I need to move? And that's why the fence obviously is there. Keep the boats away from it. Get it back in the water. It gets it started. We'll have him out. So kind of a rough start for Scott Jensen. I can't think of the last time that I've seen him not only DNF 2 times in a row, but also wreck 2 times in a row. Just obviously having not a good day. With boat 29, the Hammer Time boat, ready to pick it up. Rick Phillips, Jen McClellan. So he makes his way off under his own power. Both Rick and Jen out of Dishman, Washington. Sir Speedy, Red Line Oil, Toby's Battery, all sponsors for the Hammer Time boat. Not to belabor the point, but this is the boat that launched off of a trailer, landing directly on top of a Jeep last year. And that moment has been immortalized on a series of t-shirts that you can purchase, the It Happened Hammer Time shirts, available over on Vendor Row. A new engine in this boat. Looking for more horsepower, a little more oomph. The unique sound. 8-into-1 headers. And it's good. .45.40. So he shaves off a good 2 1/10. So 2 seconds faster than his previous runs. So Rick and Jen stepping it up with boat 71A. Jay Correa and Chelsea Gottfried. Jay makes custom bongo drums. Makes and tans the skins for the drums himself. Chelsea, his navigator, is the wood polisher. And he got a nice little wheelie out of it before he crashed. That was cool. Front end of that boat, probably about 4 or 5 feet right out of the water, and he biffs it. So, 2 different drivers for that boat have, through 2 qualifiers, accounted for 4 accidents. I'm keeping track of these things for you. You don't have to worry about it. I'll do it for you. And another rough go for the modifieds again. We have 5 DNFs. Make that looks like 6. 6 DNFs in this run. 5 of them due to out-of-water experiences. One of them a simple wrong turn. Fortunately, they're able to get Jay back in the water and off the course under his own power with boat 54, Fat Buddy Bill Reichert and Mike Woodsy Woods. And I refer to him as Woodsy Woods because his mom apparently hates it when I do that. So I'm doing that for you, Mom. Bill's last run was a 48.5.1. clean run of 44.87. 44.87. But 40B, Clayton Johnson and Dylan Hatch, a wrong turn in the Q1, looking to get their first clean run of the day here in the Q2. Sponsored by Pelican Fueling. Clayton works for Pelican. Nice to know that your boss supports your sport. Makes it easier to get days off, or at least comp time. Clayton's one of those guys. He's a solid driver. He's only been doing it for a couple of years. But definitely looking good. And it's a clean run. 44.68 officially. With 6.23. Clayton Johnson, Dylan Hatch in the 40B boat with Clint Birch and Megan Forrest coming up Forbes in the sparkly red boat. It sparkles. Yeah, the 43.88. Way tight on the corner. And when he cut that corner, the nice grate on the bottom of this boat just acts like you said before, like a cheese grater. Consuming nice big chunks of turf. And he pays for it with a much slower run. 49.03. 50. Mark Toombs, Amy Hemsley. 56.04. Mark works in the aerospace industry, where Amy, also known as Mimi Hensley, is navigator, is a massage therapist. His sponsor is Rothman Performance out of Spokane. As far as creative logos for your boat goes, Mark's is probably the most, with a monkey on it. And he also uses the grass grater on the bottom of his boat. So he's going to take it home. Clear out the jet. Wait for another shot at it coming up in the Q3. One of the folks up here in the booth, Robbie Cox, superboat racer, spent a number of years in the modifieds, and you've got a hull out here up for sale, right?
I do. It's actually the hull that I started driving with. I think I drove it for about 4 or 5 years. It's a really good hull if somebody wants to get involved and learn with it. It's built a little more heavy duty than some of the newer hulls are, so it can take a beating and keep on going. It's got everything you need in it except for the engine.
Looks like we have in excess of 200 viewers between Facebook and YouTube. Yeah, please like us, follow us on Facebook, share it out if you can, and subscribe to our YouTube channel if it's easier to watch there.
They wanted to, but the 8 1/4 works good in that boat, especially if you were going to drop it into something in the modified class. If you were going to look to the A400 or even an unlimited boat, then you definitely want to step up to a 8 1/2 or even bigger pump than that.
All right, so if you want to get a boat, it's got all the good stuff with the exception of the engine. See Robert Cox for details. I believe it's parked down there by the entrance to the park here. It is, so you can go over there and take a look at it. Boat 509B, Earl and Levi Lathrop, the Bad Idea boat, they had a 55-1-2 in the first qualifier. Earl originally built this boat back in the day, I'm hearing. Also known as Earl the Squirrel. Clean run. .82. And we move into the A400 class. So out of the modifieds into the Q2 for our 400 class. Scott Saxon, Tadra Reichert trying it again after a wreck in the Q1 in the 400 class. This is where they had the problem before. Hangs on to it that time. And he's got it. .4640. So just about 0.2 of a second slower than his time in the superboat. Yeah. Boat 9, Jesse Miller and wife Kaylin. Fat Buddy, they weren't able to get the boat started for the Q1. Now looking for his first run of the day. Clean run and a time. Good looking smooth run for Jesse. And he gets it done with a 44.65. By the way, Troop 590 of St. John, they're picking up garbage and collecting cans to save money for summer camp. So give them some garbage or cans. Hey, you trooper, come here. I've got some wrappers for you to deal with. No, seriously though, you see them out here. They're doing their gig to raise money. Please thank them when you see them. You can also make a donation. You can always do that. They're not going to turn that down. Corey and Nancy Hayes are having their 40th anniversary tomorrow. And Corey says, thanks, Nancy. And Nancy says, Corey, that's not my name. It's only been 40 years. Showtime boat, Kelly Stevenson, Dennis Robertson, boat number 5, DNF'd in the first. And he uses the lawn grater. Clean run. 51.95. With 31A. The Why Not boat from Australia, David Brown and Matt Lynch. They had a DNF in their first round. So last round in the 400s, we started off with a DNF and did not start, and another DNF, and now 3 in a row we get the time. So it's up to David to keep the trend going. Dave's first race ever. He's driving. I don't think I've seen a race where as many people have been clogging their jets with coming wide into the corners or too tight into the islands as this race. It seems like just about every other boat coming out is doing that. .09. So 156B, Stephen and Randy Church. Expected to be on the way out next. They had the wreck in their first go-around. Husband and wife out of Cheshire, Oregon. Runs an IT business. Ron DeMoe owns the boat. Ron out of Minden, Nevada, an RV tech, who used to collect tractors, antique John Deere tractors. Nicely done through that corner, which has been a problem for everybody. Clips and Island come up to the center, and oh man, so he Austin powers it. Pins the front of the back of the boat right there in the channel. So a rougher day for Stephen Church. Two DNFs as they, safety crew, he's wedged in there pretty good. They get him undone, and one of the safety crew members trying to take care of any clogs there for the jet, so they get it started to get it off. Webb Slough would like to thank all the volunteer Slough crews, along with the Rosalia ambulance crew from Colfax, Life Flights out here, the Whitman County Sheriff's Department, the Washington State Patrol, and your fire departments from St. John and Colfax. I want to thank everybody, all of those folks, for helping out to keep everybody safe. Also, a big thank you to the entire St. John community. A lot of the community steps up to volunteer, throw in their help and support to the racing here at Webb Slough. By the way, if you'd like to support the St. John Community Mothers Club, you can do that. They've got snow cones and drinks and candy over there. And the money that they're raising today supports Honor Flight. If you're not familiar with Honor Flight free of charge flies our veterans back to Washington, D.C. to see their respective memorials, our World War II vets, our Korean War vets, Vietnam vets, and the vets do not pay for a thing. Honor Flight is awesome. All right. Back to racing was Psycho Racing, Patrick Cole and Jacob Dwyer, 46.36 in his first run. Last time he had a little bit of a problem on that corner, definitely smoothed it out this time. Cole's definitely got a knack for this. Looking really smooth right now. See how he handles it through the hairpin right here. Nicely done. Really well done. This kid's looking good. Nicely done. Clean run. And he gets his best run, 45.24. Shaves off over a second. And apparently we've got some sort of multicolored Chihuahua that is in the pits running around between the Jeeps and everything. And I'm just being told it's white with brown socks on the Chihuahua. So if you have the Chihuahua and are willing to admit it, both 47. Gold Rush, Darren Swindoll and Ashley Swindoll. So again, if that is your Chihuahua, please go get it. Yeah, this Chihuahua is not a member of the APBA. American Powerboat Association, of course. The overseers of racing out here. APBA race. Nice run for Darren Swindoll. Very smooth on this go-around. He had a DNF in the first with a wrong corner, but makes up for it with a 42.36. Hey, guys. And that would put him at about the, if we were looking at all the times, that's about the third fastest time in the class today for Darren Swindoll. We had Ron DeMoe with a 42.25, and then of course Phil Miller laying down a scorching 40.67 in the 400s. Live wire on track. Matthew Denson out of Sequim, Washington. Actually, he's out of Port Angeles, as is his navigator. He gets the clean run. And a 50.34. Fastest boat in the 400 class so far today, 22. Phil Miller, the driver, from Langley, BC. His navigator is Sharon Hauser. She's an electrical tech. She's out of Tangent, Oregon, which is right by Albany. You can honestly say they are a multinational team. On that corner, and rather than potentially wrecking the boat, he just straightens it out and just purposely misses the corner. That was probably a really good decision to make, considering how much momentum that he was carrying into that corner. He just swung it out too wide, and I think he just went, nope, not going to try it. He's already got the fastest time in the class so far today, so why wreck your boat when you don't have to? In and out for Phil Miller. Boat 12 is a DNS, did not start. So Bank Shot is the boat, number 12 in the 400 class with Daryl Healy and Lena Lilly, and 2 did not starts. 2 qualifiers in a row. 42 now on the 5-minute clock. .625 then, Jolly Rogers with Ken Worst the driver, Mike Reardon the navigator. So question, are you having fun? That's good. Beer tent, we didn't hear you guys over in the beer garden. You having fun over there? Oh yeah, where there's beer involved, there is always fun. By the way, get the Slough Brew over there. You'll be able to get that. Of course, Coors is in the beer garden as well. And make sure that you do the responsible thing. Don't get behind the wheel after the race. If you've been over there enjoying the fizzy adult beverage. Here we go, 6:25. The flying slipper. Oh! Oh, God. All right, waiting to get their hands up to make sure that they're okay. Definitely a bell ringer. Hands up, they're okay. Give it up for them. That was nasty. That's the kind of wreck that leaves stains both in and outside of your flyer suit. And the driver making his way out quite a bit slower than the navigator. Definitely a bell ringer of an accident. That flip and hard impact. Got our EMS crew making their way out in the Razor to make sure to check them out. Anytime you got an accident that bad, they're required to get checked out. Especially to make sure that there's no concussions or anything. It's going to take a little bit to get this cleared up as they get the trailer out there. Try to get them hooked up. The fastest boat on the course today has been in the unlimited class, and that's not much of a surprise with Dennis Hughes, the driver. He's driven for many years, and chatted a little with him at the Show and Shine last night. Back to your winning ways, Dennis, in the Superboat. How does this thing handle?
The boat handles really well. The only issues we're having with it is the pump wanting to slip, and we're not sure what we're going to do to fix that. So, but yeah, it handles great. It's got plenty of horsepower. We just need to figure out how to hook it up to the track.
All right, for folks that are gearheads and they love all the talk about power, what do you have?
We've got a Pro Charger on a small block Chevy, all aluminum. We're putting about 15 pounds of boost on it, somewhere around 1,200 horsepower.
Somewhere around 1,200 horsepower.
Yeah, we haven't put it on a dyno or anything. We've just kind of been tuning it by ear, as they say. So, yeah, it definitely has a lot of power.
What was it like the first time you got in it? Because you've been racing in the modifieds forever, and then you're in this thing. What was it like the first time you took it out?
It really accelerates. There's no lag when you hit the throttle. It goes. So it's quite a bit lighter. It's all aluminum engine compared to the iron block of the modified. So boy, it's a lightweight boat, and it really accelerates. Puts you back in your seat.
How does your daughter Sam, your navigator, feel about it?
She really enjoys it. She doesn't seem to get scared easy, so I do try to keep it in the middle more. Having your daughter in the boat's concern when you're going those kind of speeds on that track.
Yeah, obviously. Your modified boat, where is it?
It's now the Showtime. Mel Craven bought it for me, and then he sold it when he quit the sport.
Okay, so no wonder.
Yeah, no wonder.
That explains a lot. I've got to say, Kelly is driving that boat really well.
Yeah, we've helped him out a little bit with getting it back to the original setup that we had, and he had a few questions for us, and we're happy to help him out because that boat it's a good hull, and it's a good driving boat.
All right, of the boats that are in the class that showed up today, which are the ones you look at and go, yeah, okay, it's going to be fun?
Yeah, there's several guys really stepping it up. The Rum Runner, his twin turbo, that thing's going to be something to contend with. The Kiwi boat, twin turbo, he's got a Pro Charger like I do, and that's a really first-class boat there. Eric Werner, he's got a new pump. Yeah, there's a lot of guys. Bill Sparling, he's always good. We're just getting a lot of stiff competition in the unlimited class.
All right. Well, Dennis, good luck. See if we see you on the podium again.
I sure hope so. We'll give it our best.
Dennis Hughes, you'll see him in the unlimited class as boat 625 makes its way off. Good to see Ken and Mike of boat 625 walking off under their own power. By the way, we have a lost person. She's looking for someone. She's in the upper beer garden. Her name is Delma. Oh, she's looking for Delma. Delma Wilson. You need to come up and find this person. She's confused. That's a euphemism. She's confused. But she's near the upper beer garden. So you can use your own context clues there. As boat 42, Dan Hatch and Wendy Wright. They had a 48.69 in the first go-around. Part of the Blue Bayou crew. A little more aggressive on this approach than he was in the first go-around. Going really wide through some of these corners. Interested to see how he handles this one. But that back end really can break loose. Some of these boats, you watch them and they look like they're on a rail, and others, particularly this one, on a drift. But he gets it done. Gets the clean run. And a 47.10. B, the Why Not boat with Mike Llewellyn and owner Sandy Whalen. Worth is their sponsor. W-U-R-T-H, Worth. Our last time was a 47.10. Got a Chevy 400 powering this boat with a older Jetco hull. Mike got into racing as a safety crew member, then ended up on a boat crew, navigated for a while, finally become a driver a few years ago. Tony, Sandy's husband, used to drive the boat, and Mike said that he had an advantage over him as a driver, mainly because he says that he could reach the pedal. He's got longer legs. Tony and Sandy from Oz. 46.29. 1 1/3 seconds better than his previous time with boat 34, the Wave Digger 2. Skylar Smith and Marshall Boffel from St. John. 43.27 was their first run. So, Ashley Thursday, we have something of yours that if we wanted to, we could order all sorts of really cool things off of Amazon. It's at the ticket booth. You might want to get it. That was a clean run. 42.53 for Skylar and Marshall. So he shaves off not quite a second, but looking really good. Definitely in the running at this point as one of the fastest boats in the class. So nice run for Skylar. With boat 151B, Kyle Patrick and Amanda Thompson. Saw this run a little bit earlier when Kyle's son Cole was driving. For fun, let's see how Kyle stacks up against his son. Cole had a 45.24. .98. So a nice clean run. And 44.98, the official time, with 3 more boats left in the A400 class, including Ron DeMoe, whose last run was a 42.25. Another one of the fastest boats in the class. He'll be followed by boat 21, Bank Shot, Jimmy Hess, Jason Christ, and Bandit Black will round it out. Away wide, hangs it up. Honestly thought that the hairpin was going to be the bad place today, but this corner right here has been a boat eater in a number of ways. Either they come out wide, scrape a bunch of sod up and clog the pumps, or they just eat it in that corner. And once again, we get another island eating event. So Ron DeMoe and Lisa Bowman pick up the out of water DNF. Safety crew get them back in the water as boat 21, Jimmy Hess and Jason Christ, sit on the trailer, looking to get themselves going. It's trying to get that boat pushed back in. One of the issues that the safety crew has to look out for as they try to get these boats back in the water is to make sure they don't get burnt on the headers or the pipes. They'll do the heave-ho with the tow rope to try and get it off the bank. You can do it, guys. You can do it. Come on, egg them on. Go, safety crew. Well, they're getting their cardio today. And they're off under their own power. Jimmy Hess on the way. He's been racing for about 5 years. Twin Falls, Idaho is where he calls home. Jason is navigator, who's getting double time today. Racing, driving, and now navigating is from Burley. He's got a 400 cubic inch Chevy in the back of the bank shot. That's one thing that if you've never been in one of these boats, and a lot of people haven't, been in them a few times in the different classes, and these boats are so loud when you're in them, mainly because the only thing separating you from the engine really is your seat. They are thunderously loud. Monty's Racing Engines doing Jimmy's engine. Monty's does actually a lot of the different racers' engines out here. Monty's out of Albany, Oregon. Monty and Ben, his right-hand man, doing a lot of work on these engines. Probably in terms of who's the busiest guys out here, it would be Monty and Ben. Keeping a lot of these guys up and going and running. He gets the DNF. He had a good run going too. Nice and smooth, and takes the right, not the left. So DNF for Jimmy. And our last boat in the class, in the 400s, for this, the second qualifier. Part of the Bandits, Brian and Aubrey Swindoll. Powered by Elk Rider Bourbon. Heritage Distillery, one of their main sponsors. Known for their BSB, brown sugar bourbon. Call it good. 43.80. So 43.80, and in this particular qualifier, just taking a look at the times. Brian's brother, Darren, laying down one of the best times with a 42.36, followed by Skylar Smith with a 42.5. All right, Super Bowl. Scott Saxton in the 13 boat. Oh! How Scotty-like. He can still do it if he can get the boat turned around. I don't think, yeah. We got the DNF. He sucked up a bunch of sod. One of the problems when they suck up a big chunk of dirt and grass and the like and try to finish, the boats are barely moving. They're hitting the higher RPMs, and it's really easy to overheat these things. And so, to save the investment, just bring it out and hope for the best on the next run. Again, this is your unlimited class. Just about anything goes, except for nitro. We saw a rum runner out here earlier that had a DNF. Jeremy Brewer, Presley Lawler. Still running really rough. Wide and hangs it up. Pretty much everything in the boat custom designed and built by Jeremy. It's twin turbo, methanol injected. He's sponsored by Cascade Sign and Apparel, and they'll try to get him back in the water. So 2 DNFs in a row in the unlimited class with Bill Sparling, Big Bill, in the number 4 Sinister boat. Best run in the unlimited last in the first qualifier was, of course, Dennis Hughes, bringing it in at 38.49. Nobody else was even close.
I want to thank all our viewers for watching our live stream today on Facebook and on YouTube simultaneously. If it's easier for you to watch on your smart TV or whatever on YouTube, that's the place to go. I hear it's a little higher quality too, but Facebook is good. And we're going to be bringing you all of today's live stream. It will be off the air during lunch, so we'll start back up on the Webb Slough Facebook page and on the YouTube page after lunch. It's going to be a fairly long day of racing because we have so many boats and we're only in the second qualifier and it's almost 1 o'clock.
54. Right. So taking a while to, and they get the special walk out. And it looks like they're going to send out the jet ski tug. And that has got to be the slowest jet ski ever. So the question is, will the jet ski get to the boat before the boat actually gets to the spin-out pool? You can start placing your bets now with your neighbors because this looks like it could be a wash. I mean, literally, as slow as this jet ski is going, you almost expect to see it turn and notice that the left blinker is going and going and going. What is the point? It's... Yeah, they'll try to get that hooked up and off. And if it goes that slow with just a guy on it, how slow is it going to go with pulling a boat? And look at the jet ski driver's hair blowing back. Eyes tearing up from the speed. Zome Design is providing custom apparel and swag for race teams. They also do corporate events and personal events, apparel, promotional products, anything you can put a logo on. Zome can help. They're at the Overkill booth. Webb Slough has their gear at the main gate, celebrating their 13th season of sprint boat racing here in St. John. You can get your Webb Slough fan gear. They've got t-shirts, tank tops, hats, hooded sweatshirts, the Brew Crew coffee. They even have Webb Slough candles. For those of you that like to have candles for your drum circle, well, you can get them. Your official Webb Slough citronella candles. The Waffle Wagon and Kettle Corn fundraiser is going on with the Oaksdale Masonic Lodge. They invite you to enjoy one of their 10 flavors of ice cream and a homemade waffle cone, and you can pick up a bag or two of their famous kettle corn. They're also raffling off there's 3 of them they're giving away. Henry Lever Action Brass Edition 3030s, with the proceeds going for Bikes for Books program in 4 area grade schools. So again, a little bit of everything going on there at the Waffle Wagon and Kettle Corn fundraiser. Say hi to John and Jean too at Moon Creek Gourmet Sweets to get a sample of their homemade gourmet caramel. Their caramels come in 7 flavors: salted, better caramel, pecan caramel, butter rum, cherry, espresso, and licorice. They have a flavor to satisfy anybody looking for some sweet treats. Get them there. And for eats, don't forget Terry's. All right, boat 4, Sinister. Action on the field. Boy, a lot of momentum in that corner, and he grabs some bank there. Way more aggressive this go around than the first for Big Bill Sparling. Run! He gets the clean run! Hell yeah! That's the way to finish. And he gets the 44.11. 44.11. And that right there is highlight reel material. If you're going to finish a run with style, that's the way to do it. And he did.
So you know how there's a sinister video that has been just seen millions of
Yeah. Can we confirm whether he got air on that one or not? It looked to me like he did. It looked like he cleared the water for a second there.
Steve, are you calling about that timing eye?
Dennis Hughes, Samantha Hughes, waiting in overkill, boat 69. 30. Okay, I'm getting a confirmation he got air. Somebody actually watched, I guess, the video replay on it.
We're going to do a test on the...
So it's going to take a second here as they do a little test on the finish line. I think there was a worry that he may have clipped one of the eyes, which would make sense. He clipped about everything else. So, timing light's working. And 69 warming up. Dennis's daughter, Samantha, in the navigation seat, turning 18 this year. This last time was a 38.49. Wow. Is he going to beat 38? He does. .51, almost a second faster than his last run. Dean Lautenschlager and Jack Bringman, boat 411. This, by the way, a really good run. 42.64. and a clean run. With our Kiwi, Chris Monroe and Katie Monroe, both 35 on the way. 43.56 in their first go-around. They'll be followed by boat 907, Eric Werner and Nicole Brown Jolly Rogers in this, the unlimited class, with a Q3 coming up. A nice fast run for the Monroes with a 41.01. So they shave off 2.5 seconds from their first run. Chris, kind of an interesting driving style there. A lot of feathering going around, a lot of throttle feathering as he makes his way around, noticing his backs off a little bit just as he gets to that corner and then punches it into the corner. Eric Werner, Nicole Brown, 907, Jolly Rogers. He had a 49.14. This has got to be the quietest boat. And it's a clean run. He's got a 463 cubic inch twin turbo powering that. .44. And we roll back into the modifieds. And your third qualifier brought to you by All Sport, serving Spokane and Coeur d'Alene since 1984 with a large selection of street bikes, dirt bikes, ATVs, UTVs, snowmobiles, scooters, personal watercraft, and generators from manufacturers like Indian, Polaris, BRP, Yamaha, Honda, KTM, all under one roof. They've got a convenient location in Liberty Lake, Washington, just off I-90 at Barker Road. And they have just added the full line of KTM street and dirt bikes to their showroom. So go on down and take a look. Something for the novice or experienced rider. Allsportracing.com is where you can check them out. And if you're looking for pre-owned, they got a great selection there too. 154. 2 DNFs in a row. One in water and a wrong turn, the other out of water. Looking to get his first clean run in. Hangs up on the bank. Yeah, but he's going to do the full run. I figured he would take it in. Well, he's had 2 DNFs in a row. And it's clean. .07. With 71B. 2 wrecks in a row for Larry Hines, Dale Carrera. And he gets his first clean run. .57.56 in this, the third qualifier for the modifieds. Dylan Hatch and Clayton Johnson, Blue Bayou. 40A. Dylan's best run was the first qualifier where he threw down a 45.18. Does as nicely through the hairpin as just about anybody out. Clean and smooth, and a 44.46, his fastest run today. With boat 199, and boat 199 had their best run in the Q2 and a time of 97.34. I'm being asked right now in the booth, do you think he'll beat his 97? I think he could be on his way to an 82nd run. Then again, reassessing that, I have to say, this track is the worst place to be a beginner. This track is so tight and small and unforgiving. And you'll see racers that do that are rookies, and they'll have a race on another track with wider corners, wider lanes, and they make it through all day long, and they come out here and it's like a whole different world. It is totally game on when you're on the track at Webb Slough. It's short, it's narrow, you have some really interesting odd corners when you're carrying a lot of momentum behind you, and it is a track that is definitely technical. Even the spin-out pool is smaller than most of the spin-out pools. You know, the thing is in that spin-out pool, too, something to keep in mind, that you think, okay, I'm coming through there, I'm carrying a lot of speed, and you get into that spin-out pool and you can let off the throttle. Absolutely not, because you have to hook hard left in there. And again, all the steering comes through the jet, and having your foot in the throttle, and to nuance that spin out pool, you still have to keep your foot in it. Other tracks have almost a non-existent spin out pool. It's more like a long channel that you come into. Depending on the design of the track, generally kind of a left-hand turn, and it's just a longer, wider channel to kind of slow you down. With the bad idea coming up, Eric Petring and Karen Mesa, DNF in their first to 65.71 in their second go-around. And he's dealing with a chunk of sod. Huh? $75.95. $208. Dustin Springer, TJ Burrows, and the Jolly Rogers. Their first run, definitely their best, with a 41.71. 3 seconds slower in their following run with a 44.71. Sucks up some bank. Lead run. 43.96. With the rookies in 3.77, the Regulators, Carol and, Mike and Carrie Corolla. Former flying Hawaiian boat. Oh. Honestly, didn't think he was going to hang on to it. Clipped the first part of that corner. Hangs on to it, not that time. Came in tight on that island and then swung it wide, and he's out. Seen a number of boats biff in that particular area as well today. So he'll get the push back in. Garco Construction has been in the building industry as a general contractor since 1978. They offer general contractor design build and construction management services. Garco, once again, delighted to be helping out here at the track at Webb Slough. Felton's Auto Sales in St. Mary's, Idaho, where you can find your next quality vehicle at a fair price. Call Felton's Auto Sales at 877 Feltons, or just go to feltonsautosales.com. They remind you the money you save could be your own. It's Felton Auto Sales supporting Webb Slough. D&J Farm Supply, also a supporter of Webb Slough, the largest independent dealer in the northwest of with CAMSO agricultural tracks. They've got lots of farm needs, mid-rollers, spindles, hubs, jumbo harrows, and their CAMSO tracks far exceed the competition. Whether you're looking for new or used tracks, contact D&J Farm Supply, locally owned by Don and Amy Swanick. Greenboro is the official screen printer and embroiderer for Webb Slough. They pride themselves in great custom designs and friendly customer service. They offer in-house customized screen printing as well as embroidery with a team of dedicated employees. They're located in the historic Hilliard neighborhood of Spokane. Online, greenboro.com. That's GREEBURO.com. If you need screen printing or embroidery. '86, the Juggernaut. They wrecked in their last run. Husband and wife team of Jason and Samantha Christ. And they biff again. Lots of DNFs today. Only a couple of bad accidents, fortunately. A lot of them like that. Simply just parking it on the edge of one of the banks with Scott Jensen and Alex Jensen getting ready to go on boat number 8, the Bad Fish. They've had a really rough day today with 2 DNFs, including that perfect trifecta 3-island bouncer that they took in the last run. They get them pushed back in the water. Inland Empire Milling Company, also a sponsor out here, a local country elevator specializing in forage spring and winter peas. They also have their new customizable wildlife food plot birds and bucks blend. They say no plot is too big or small to draw on the big bucks and the birds with their new food plot blends, birds and bucks, which they can customize for your specific needs. If you want more information on their wildlife food plot blend or their nitrogen fixing green peas, you just need to call Dan at Inland Empire Milling Company or stop by today. They're at the VIP booth. Go say hi. Taste the terroir of the Palouse. Seed to sip, grain to gulp, farm to pint. It's Joseph's Granary. No matter how you say it, when it's brewed with Baroness barley from Joseph's Granary, it is beer from here. Paradise Creek Brewery is serving their Cougar Kolsch today in the beer gardens, brewed with 100% Baroness barley, grown just a couple of miles away from Webb Slough. You can check them out at josephsgranary.com. Learn more about Baroness barley, something maybe you home brewers would like to check out. Link Malt, by the way, also using them. All right, the Mad Fish. Will he keep it in the water? And he's going to have his first clean run today. He's going to do it. Done. 42.83. .83 is the official time, so Scott Jensen on the scoreboard. With the hammer time coming up, Rick Phillips, Jen McClelland had a 47.56, shaved it to a 45.40 on their last run. And they shave off more time. More impressive power plant in this boat than they had in the past. It's good, and a 45.40. Their last run, 45.40. So they are consistent. That's impressive. 71A. They had 2 DNFs out of water experiences. And Jay keep it in the water. Will he get his first clean run of the day? Gets the DNF. Goes straight instead of turning left. Malt works exclusively with grain grown here in eastern Washington. They connect area farmers with craft brewers and distillers all around the Northwest. Located in the Spokane Valley, their malt house is cooperatively owned by the growers that they serve. They specialize in offering unique varietals of malt and are always identified by the farms where the grain was grown. Link Malt, great flavor, grown here. They're malting the Baroness barley that is actually grown on the hill behind Webb Slough, which will then end up in next year's Webb Slough Brew by Paradise Creek Brewery. That Buddy Bill Riker and Mike Woods in boat 54 in this Q3 of the modifieds. 44.87 his best and last run. Say in the modifieds today, there is no one dominant boat like we've seen in the past. Quite a bit of parity, and it's a good run. Unofficially 45.72. And that is the official time, 45.72 for Bill Reichert. As boat 40B warms up on the trailer, with Clayton Johnson and Dylan Hatch, DNF in their first, a 44.68 in the second qualifier. Three more boats still to come up in the class of the modifieds after 40B. Oh! Do we got a hands up? Waiting for the hands up. Make sure these guys are okay. Nasty slam on the back side of that wreck. Well, we got our navigator out. He is okay. Give him a round of applause. And the driver's out. They're good. So Clayton and Dylan out. Well, Rick and Jen in the Hammer Time boat at last night's show and shine. New engine, new look. Had a chance to chat with them for a couple of minutes. The boat is Hammer Time, sometimes known as Jeep Jumper. And Rick, welcome back to the scene of the crime. You've made some changes to Hammer Time.
Yeah, we gave her a tune-up. We should have a little more horsepower, and hopefully we can get on the podium this time. We're getting tired of finishing fifth.
Now, it's really interesting because you started going back through, and you've been racing, what, this is fourth year?
Third year. This is our third year.
Third year, and you had noted that there is something that you're very consistent at.
Finishing fifth.
Which is weird.
I know, it's really strange, but we have to fix that.
Okay, and as you've said before, you're looking forward to being a future world champion. This is a move towards that.
Yes, it is. It's all a bunch of steps to get there, and you have to see where you're weak, and we were low on horsepower, so this is we put a little bit more horsepower in it, and hopefully it all works out.
Okay.
It's like a competition. We've got about the same number of people, around 120 on YouTube and Facebook. That's pretty good. I appreciate you guys sharing it out, making comments, and following us, trying to get as many people as possible to see this last race of the year at Webb Slough in St. John, Washington.
All right, of course, driving in the modified class. Interesting rotation. Starts off really fast around the outside of the track, and then it gets kind of squirrely about the last third of the run.
Yeah, it takes off. You're going to be going pretty fast around the track and gets a little technical, and then after you get technical, then you're fast again, and it's a great rotation. I love it.